An old man suddenly arrived in a burst of flames, looking confused and lost. The devil looked at his paperwork and frowned. He was unable to find this old man's data file. The old man grumbled, "This can't be right. I've been a good man my whole life." The devil nodded apologetically. Most people said this when they arrived at hell. He says, "Why don't you start with how you died and we'll figure it out." The old man sighed and said, "Well, I was out minding the grandchildren, having a fun day out. I don't get the grandchildren often because my eyesight is starting to fade. But we were having the most wonderful time. And that's when everything went crazy. Out of nowhere I spotted the largest, most grotesque mouse I've ever seen moving towards us. It was absolutely enormous. And that's when it moved. Straight towards the grandchildren first, limbs outstretched. You don't know where mice have been. What if I had have bitten one of them? Can you imagine if they got rabies on my watch?" The devil asks, "So what did you do?" The man continued, "You don't get how big this mouse was. Radiation it must have been. Too many phones these days, that's what causes it. I did the only thing I could. I grabbed my walking stick and cracked it over the head. Now my eyesight isn't that good anymore, but I whacked it good." The kids started screaming at this point. You know how they get when you have to kill an animal. But I needed to keep going. You see, with mice, you need to see their guts to know they're dead. Otherwise, they'll be back with others. The devil asks, "So you killed it?" Some of his demon gods had come to listen to the story. The old man nodded. "By golly, I did." Guts and all were splattered for all to see. The kids had lost their mind at this point. Tears everywhere. A crowd had gathered as well, all screaming at the sight. It was at this point, though, that the exertion caught up with me. I felt my heart give way. I must have suffered a heart attack. Next thing I know, I'm here. The devil concerned says, "Well, this doesn't seem to add up. Let me just give heaven a call and we'll try and see what's going on here." The devil pulled the phone from thin air and dialed a number. The devil says, "Hey Jesus, bro, I think I've got one of yours here. His story checks out. Must have been a mix-up." The devil nodded as a voice on the phone spoke back to him. He gave the old man a silent celebratory thumbs up as the voice continued. The devil covered the phone speaker with his hand, turned to the old man and said, "You're all good. They just want to know where you were when you died." The old man nodded. "Oh, that's easy. I was at Disneyland."